And yes, I couldn't help but think, imagine if we did a movie one day where all the Billies came together. Well, all of the living people who had portrayed Billy came together. Yeah, it's an honor to carry that mantle forward about a character who, you know, is iconic. And there's a reason we keep looking at people like that. It's because they teach us about our own humanity.
You okay there, Billy?
I guess so.
This is not a toy. You never point that at a man unless you intend to use it.
Jim Alexander, a real talker. Wow, good to see you. Take a drink, Daniel. I mean, don't even bother. This is casual. This is whatever, you know. Tom, I'm going to start with you. I've been heavily influenced. I'll rephrase that. Actually, I'm not drinking or anything. I'm not influenced. What I was going to yeah, I'm drunk already. It's morning. What I was going to say is that these superhero and Marvel movies got me all twisted with these multiverses. So I'm thinking already, like, are you reaching out to like Emilio Estevez, Tim Blake Nelson, Dane DeHaan, trying to do a Billy the Kid multiverse here?
I love that. That's hilarious. You know what? It did strike me too. You can't help but think that you know that there are so many living versions of Billy the Kid out there, which are iconic and people are moved by and look up to. Weirdly, I actually met Emilio a few weeks ago at this award show that we were both hosting at, and we were in the green room, and I feel a tap on the shoulder, and I turn around, and who's there but Emilio Estevez, and he introduces himself by saying, "Hey, I'm William H. Barney. Nice to meet you, William H. Barney." For a moment, and I was one glass of champagne deep, so this probably didn't help. But I had a moment of just kind of like, wait, what? No, my name's Tom. Oh, and like it was incredibly moving, and I was just shaken by the kind of honor of getting to carry this mantle. And Emilio was very graceful and generous, and I couldn't believe he even knew that I existed and was doing this show. And so we had this kind of 10-minute conversation about Billy and enthusing about it. And yes, I couldn't help but think, imagine if we did a movie one day where all the Billies came together. Well, all of the living people who had portrayed Billy came together. Yeah, it's an honor to carry that mantle forward about a character who, you know, is iconic. And there's a reason we keep looking at people like that. It's because they teach us about our own humanity.
That's cool. Wow, what an awesome story. I stumbled into it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, you guys are no like strangers to period pieces in a sense. I know Eileen, you, Tom, you've done a few of them. You too, Daniel, in a way, 60s or so. I'm curious, like, what about kind of the old world and being in this world, the kind of Wild West, did you like, or maybe would want to incorporate to the real, or is there or something like, no, I don't want any part of this in my real life, you know, like I need my cell phones? But was there anything kind of refreshing that you took from this set? Like, oh, that would have been interesting in real life. I'll start with you, Eileen.
I think we should travel by horses again, to be honest.
That.
I think the modes of transport and the animals were lovely. So I'll take them, but I'd also like to hold on to the cleanliness of modern day society. So, you know, I can imagine it would have been a bit, you know, smelly. But yeah, so I'll take the horses, but I'll have clean people on the horses. Yeah.
I like that. That's out of the box.
And to offer a different viewpoint, I like the dirtiness of that. And if I could be that filthy all the time, I would be. No, I'm kidding. But I just love that part of it. You know, you go to set and get filth put on you all day long, and you're in dusty climates, and you're laying in the dirt, and like and you're playing with horses, so you're getting great grease, and you know, like it's an immediate sort of world, and I really love that.
And no sanitizers there, really, right? You just hope there's like a pond or something to jump into to wash it off, right?
Yeah. A bit of spit.
Yeah, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Tom? I mean, you're riding horses, you're wielding guns, you're doing it all. I feel like there's nothing you can do. Anything about that world that you kind of got used to, maybe?
Trust me, there are things I can't do. I won't tell you them. For me, it's a childhood dream, honestly, man. It's like, I grew up loving the kind of world of the Old West and reading books about it and stuff. So it's an absolute dream and an honor to be able to step into this world. And honestly, also just like an actor's dream too, because everything we did was on location. We were out in the hills of Alberta, which is a beautiful landscape and very Western still. And so you kind of don't have to act. Daniel said this earlier today, that you kind of forget that you're acting a lot of the time. And part of the joy of being an actor is being able to learn the skills of your character and the way your character moves through the world. And once you've learned those skills and they put you on horseback and there's no green screens, there's no studios, we didn't shoot a single thing in a studio. It was all on location. And so you can't help but kind of forget that you're acting and just experience it. And so really it becomes an exercise in kind of playing like a child. Like you start to just really play and your imagination comes to life and you kind of feel like a child, which I think, is the joy of the escapism and the experiential experience of watching television and making it too. You get to engage that childhood imagination. Yeah.
Eileen, like you're here with two of these guys on screen, macho dudes, robbing, shooting up. How do you keep them in check? Like, what do you do? You're on set. Like, I feel like you're probably here the ref in a sense,
Eileen's the wild one. What are you talking? We have to keep her.
Eileen's the wild one. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's a reversal.
I have been the bold one in these interviews because I keep making jokes, but I'm not meaning to be, which is why them two won't stop laughing. All I can say is that only Tom is my responsibility. So there is no way that I could have kept Jesse in check. That's a whole different thing. I'm so sorry. Your question was, how would I?
Well, how do you keep them in check in a sense? I feel like
but the thing is, I think the lovely thing about Kathleen is that she's not really keeping anybody in check. She's more like somebody who leads by example and does one of those things where she says, well, you should do that.
Voice of reason, right?
I don't think Kathleen's really a disciplinarian in that she would ever tell Billy what to do. It's actually one of the dynamics of the relationship that I love so much, is that Billy, from when he was a small kid, was equal peer and not infantilized in any way. Like, how I spoke to Billy did not change through his life. There was always a level of respect that he would be up to the standard. He would be smart enough for what I was saying. He would be compassionate enough to understand what I would say, and hopefully that kind of empathy and moral compass took him. But I don't think that Kathleen is one of those people who'd be like, I don't know, don't do that. I think she's more like leads by example. That's what I'm going to say. I like the idea leads by example.
I mean,
as an actor though, or like as Eileen, I am
as Eileen too.
As Eileen, I'm such a fan of watching Jesse's like journey, and Dan plays it absolutely amazingly. But then when I put my Kathleen head on, I'm like, stay away from Billy.
Think of the fun he'll have.
Yeah, I know.
Experiences.
Yeah,
but I was gonna say, I mean, with it was a complete shift energy wise, and it's funny because Tom and I spoke on set between like episode, I think 104, and then the rest of the show, where we go from Eileen and everybody there, and the energy shift between all these other actors sort of going on, and this new young testosterone filled bunch of young guys coming into the show, because it was such a beautiful set before that. It was so much fun and joyful, and we were both kind of a little bit intimidated. I think I know I was of like, what is this? What is like 10 boys on set? who all think they're cowboys. What is that gonna be like? And there was a complete shift energetically on set, and they were both brilliant fun in the end. But yeah, I remember at first I was like, oh, this could be a lot to handle.
Well, you guys handled it really well. It looks good. I hope there's more seasons to it, and eventually a multiverse, Tom, and all that good stuff.
Not speaking to Emilio now. Get it made.
Exactly. It's my idea. Take
Take care, guys.
Keep on doing the great work.